Am I the a-hole for telling my best friend's ex-wife that she only has herself to blame for him not talking to her anymore? At the beginning of the year, my friend Tom finalized his divorce. It was a messy and toxic situation on both sides. He and his ex-wife, Brittany, divorced after he discovered she had been having a long-term affair with one of her other friends, Steven. Tom is usually a level-headed guy, but the affair and subsequent divorce really broke him. I believe that if it weren't for his two boys, he might have considered ending it all. They share custody with Tom having the boys 60% of the time. The problem now is that he hasn't spoken to Brittany since the divorce was finalized. He picks up and drops off the boys without speaking to her, ignores her at the boys' events, and doesn't interact with her family. I don't think he's doing anything wrong. It's not like he badmouths her in front of the kids. Things escalated when he asked me to pick up the boys because he was unavailable. I agreed and went to get them. When I arrived, Brittany was there as expected. I greeted her and called the boys over. After they got in my truck, she asked if we could talk. Thinking it was about the kids, I agreed. To my surprise, she broke down crying, saying she knew what she did was wrong, but that Tom couldn't continue to be this cruel. She claimed he was ruining the last bit of stability the boys had, and that her family already hated her for the affair, especially her dad who saw Tom as a son. I told her she needed to consider the situation, especially since she was still with Steven. The person who had actually ruined the boys' home was her, not Tom. I ended the conversation by telling her to save her crocodile tears for her F-toy and leave me out of it. I don't think I was wrong, but my girlfriend thinks Tom is taking things too far and that it wasn't my place to get involved. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. My in-laws divorced when my husband, 35 male, wasn't even 2 yet. His mom cheated. They had 50-50 custody his entire childhood. His dad hasn't spoken to her in over 30 years now, aside from one time when Hubs got in big trouble in high school for skipping class, and once right after high school when he had surgery for a hernia. What's fascinating is that neither seem to hate each other, at least now anyway. Mother-in-law has never said anything mean about father-in-law, and while father-in-law has rolled his eyes on occasion, he always asks how she is, and has also never said anything mean about her either. Right now it's fresh and she's desperate not to be the bad guy. Hopefully she'll grow to accept it eventually like my in-laws did. I will also note that my husband is totally on his dad's side and not talking to his mother, and said many times that while it kind of bugged him as a kid when he didn't fully understand why mom and dad didn't talk, as soon as he was old enough to digest the situation, it no longer bugged him and it felt like she deserved it. Not the a-hole. While it's important to keep lines of communication open to talk about the kids and their stuff, anything else is just out of kindness. He doesn't owe her anything at all. I would try to be civil around the kids though, especially if they're really young and don't really know what's going on. The boys are 9 and 10. He is semi-civil. Like at events, he won't speak to her if it's not needed. I don't blame him. I'd rather not say anything that risks blowing up at her. As long as he keeps putting the best interests of the kids first, he's good. He's gone. He doesn't speak because there's no reason. She ruined their family. She's gotta deal with it. Let her go cry on her boyfriend's shoulder. Tom doesn't owe her not one bit of conversation. And your girlfriend has a lot of audacity to say Tom is taking it too far. No, he's doing just fine. He's doing nothing wrong. And the fact your girlfriend is taking the cheater's side is mind-boggling. Why the heck should he speak to her? Damn, people are stupid. Right? It's wild how some people think they can just act however they want and then expect everything to go back to normal. Cheaters feel entitled to your attention and get upset when you start to focus on the more important things. It wasn't your business. Then the cheater asked you to get involved. She made it your business. As for Tom taking it too far, he hasn't bad-mouthed her to the kids or even told them why the divorce happened. That is an A grade in my book, especially when she's dating the affair partner and crying about how her cheated on ex isn't being nice to her. Frankly, this is a red flag for OP's girlfriend's morals. She thinks that simply not speaking to someone who destroyed you is taking things too far. Sounds like a guilty conscience. What is she afraid of being punished for that she would care? Next story. Am I the a-hole for going through with ending things with my ex, even though she was recently assaulted? I, 30 male, am an attorney. I met my ex-fiancée, 26 female, about 3 years ago. After a year of dating, we moved in together and rented a house. This past January, I made partner at my firm and we got engaged. In March, my firm offered me a great opportunity to help open a new office out of state, about 3 hours away. After discussing it, I decided to take the offer. I bought a house at a new location. The lease in our old place was set to end this month, so the plan was for my ex to stay there until the lease was up and then join me. In the meantime, we saw each other nearly every weekend and talked every day. We had a Ring doorbell at the rental house. This detail becomes important later. My ex worked at an art gallery that featured a rotating selection of local artists. In May, I started noticing a man frequently stopping by the rental house, usually carrying a canvas or something similar. He never stayed more than 10 to 15 minutes. When I asked my ex about him, she explained that he was a local artist the gallery was working with, and that he was dropping off pieces for her to take to the gallery. The frequency of his visits started to bother me. My ex assured me that nothing was going on. In July, during one of my visits, my ex was in the shower when he called. I answered and his tone made me uncomfortable. After the call, I looked through their text messages, which were blatantly flirtatious. I confronted my ex, and she turned pale. She apologized profusely and promised to quit her job, assuring me that she would find a new one once she moved in with me after the lease ended. Since I make more than enough to support us, I agreed, and she quit her job. About a month and a half ago, my ex was involved in a car accident. She was driving my old car and was rear-ended. This was strange because she drove her own car over 95% of the time. However, my old car was the only one we had without GPS tracking. She claimed she was alone and headed to a restaurant she liked when the accident occurred. I requested a copy of the police report for the insurance claim, and the location of the accident didn't make sense for where she said she was going. When I confronted her, she admitted she had lied and was actually visiting the artist who lived in the neighborhood. She claimed she was there to see a new painting. I immediately broke up with her. I told her I would continue covering rent through the end of the lease, October 31st, but after that I would no longer provide any support. Our mutual friends have told me that she has been depressed and barely functioning since then. She does not drink because of some experiences she had in high school, but last weekend she went to a party with friends and got very drunk. A man took her to a bedroom and assaulted her. Someone overheard her yelling no, and the man was eventually arrested. This has obviously been a traumatic experience for her. She and our mutual friends are now asking me to offer her support, whether financial or otherwise. She has no job, no prospects, and none of our friends are in a position to take her in. I feel bad for her, but I don't think it's my responsibility to provide the support they're asking for. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. I noticed you wrote she and your mutual friends want you to offer her some support. You already did, then she lied and you broke up. She is no longer your responsibility. Let her family and friends support her. Also, she doesn't drink normally and went to the party with her friends who knew that. Why weren't the friends watching her? They failed her then, and now want to pass her off to you? No. Sorry, it's horrendous it happened, but she betrayed you repeatedly and doesn't get to expect your support or help anymore. Not the a-hole. You broke up with her. The fact you're still paying rent confuses me. It sucks about what happened to her, but it's not up to you to be there anymore. I am on the lease for the rent house, so it is in my best interest to keep paying it, which is why I did it after the breakup. As much as it sucks that happened, not the a-hole. All those friends who are pressuring you needs to look at themselves. Why are they not offering her support, financial or otherwise? X means you are moving on from each other. She broke your trust, and you felt that a reason to end things with her. You also already were nice enough to cover rent to end a lease. To be fair to the friends, many of them are offering support, financial support and otherwise. Issue is that vast majority of them have kids and are teachers, artists, musicians, etc., so their disposable income is quite limited. She quit her job in July. Why wouldn't she move out to be with you at that point? I mean, story-wise, obviously because she was cheating, but logically, y'all could have broken the lease early. Sounds like you're doing well financially. Or she could have moved to you and a friend, neighbor, or one of you could have checked up on the apartment from time to time. We thought about it, but there would have been some logistical issues because new house was being worked on. We had pets at my work schedule. The convo we had was towards the end of July. Her last day at the job was in August. Plus, I was truly reassessing the relationship after all of this. So I was not personally interested in accelerating the timeline. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my cheating wife a day before our daughter's graduation that I would be divorcing her? My wife and I have been married for 20 years, and we have an 18-year-old daughter who graduated from high school a few months ago. About 6 years ago, I discovered that my wife had been cheating on me. The affair lasted for a couple of months. I seriously considered divorce, but my wife was genuinely remorseful. She quit her job, started going to therapy, and committed to all the reconciliation steps I asked for. Ultimately, I decided to stay with her for the sake of our family. For about 5 years, things were actually going well. We had date nights, romantic vacations, and seemed to really love each other. However, in the 6th year, the affair resurfaced in my mind, and I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I finally made my decision after something my sister said struck a chord with me. She asked, "Would you really want to use the gift of life to spend it with someone who betrayed you so badly?" This conversation happened a few days before my daughter's graduation, and that's when I decided I couldn't do it anymore. The day before my daughter's graduation, I informed my wife of my decision and told her I would be filing for divorce soon. She was shocked and cried a lot, pleading with me to reconsider, but I told her my decision was final. The graduation itself was great, and I was very proud of my daughter. My wife appeared happy, but my daughter noticed something was off and asked why her mom seemed sad and was trying to fake a smile. I told her not to worry about it and to enjoy the day. The following day, I informed my daughter about the divorce. She was shocked and asked how I could do this to her mom right before graduation, suggesting that was why her mom couldn't fully enjoy the day. I told her it was none of her business and reassured her that, regardless of what happens, we will both always love her. Now my wife and I are going through the divorce proceedings. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. I get it's tough, but the timing was terrible. Your daughter deserves joyful memories, not family chaos on her graduation day. She'll remember this forever. Then told her it was none of her business. Yikes. Yeah, it's definitely her business. He had 6 years to decide, but it had to be the one day prior to her graduation. Definitely you're the a-hole. Are you having a midlife crisis? You forgave her. You waited 6 years? Did a young chick make it so these memories resurfaced? And then you made a graduation about the divorce. Your daughter will forever remember that. Yes, you're the a-hole. My daughter did have a really good time, and the graduation party was great too. We took lots of pictures, and I'm sure she will remember the day fondly. The next day, however, I told my daughter about the divorce because she kept asking me about why her mom seemed so down. I did not really want to break the news to her so soon after graduation, but I really had no choice because she wanted to know the truth. My daughter, of course, was really sad about hearing it, and she even broke down in tears. But divorce is just part of life, and both me and her mom still love her. She is at college now, and I'm sure she'll get over it soon. And I don't really have a midlife crisis for some other woman. I'm not even looking to date, at least for the next few years. My focus is on myself and my family of origin. You're the a-hole. You could have waited a few days. Also, if you were happy, why did you let that line from your sister affect you so much? Are you easily influenced by others? Is the appearance of having always had a perfect marriage so important to you? Is it the point to get a deeper and deeper understanding of the other person and ourselves? It wasn't just that line, and it wasn't a spur-of-the-moment thing. I was dwelling on it for the past year or so and talking it out with my sis. She told me that it was finally time I put myself first, and that I deserved to be with someone who would unconditionally love me. Someone who would be there for me through thick and thin, and someone who would never betray me. Last story. Would I be the a-hole? Leaving my wife because she won't even try to find a job. My wife, 41 female, and I, 41 male, were both laid off this past spring, receiving a 60-day notice and severance package. I took a month off and began job hunting at the end of May. By the end of June, I had started a new job with great benefits and a good salary. My take-home pay is about $650 more per month than my previous job. My severance from my last employer will end around Thanksgiving. My wife's severance ended about a month and a half ago, but she hasn't bothered applying for unemployment or making any real effort to find a new job. She usually sleeps until 10 to 11 a.m., then spends most of the day sitting in the living room watching cartoons on her laptop while knitting. I've tried being supportive and gentle, and I've also tried being firm about the fact that we can't afford to live on my income alone. Once my severance ends, we'll be in serious financial trouble. However, she doesn't seem to care enough to put any effort into job hunting, and whenever I bring it up, she shuts down. I'm now at the point where I'm considering taking our 8-year-old and moving out to live with my parents, possibly even filing for divorce because I can't cope with her complete lack of concern for how her behavior is affecting our family financially. Am I the a-hole for feeling this way? Would I be the a-hole for actually leaving? Of course, you're not the a-hole for wanting her to be the same provider as she was before getting laid off. She wouldn't be happy either if it were you sitting on your butt all day while she works. I get taking some time off after a layoff, but not months. She should be actively pursuing a job search and want to get back to work, but she's happy sitting around, so it's almost impossible to motivate someone like that. Tell her she's pushing you out the door with her attitude, and if it were you sitting there playing video games all day instead of finding another job, she'd have the right to be angry at you too. She needs to know you're serious about this and shutting down is not acceptable. She is displaying possible symptoms of depression. A change in employment status is a major life stressor, and doing what she's doing is pure escapism when someone is depressed. You should probably work on getting to the root of the issue instead of just repeatedly asking her when she's planning to get a job. Have you asked her anything about how she's doing or if there's anything she's interested in? I personally think it sucks to rush straight to divorce when things get tough. Because why bother getting married if you're just gonna run when things aren't going how you thought they would? Obviously, you're free to do whatever you feel is best, but maybe there are other issues going on that need to be worked out. Update. Of course, just an hour after posting this, I saw that she was on the state unemployment website applying for benefits. It's a start. After our daughter goes to bed tonight, I'm going to talk to my wife about how stressed I've been feeling and see if I can get her to open up about her own thoughts and feelings.
First story is titled, Am I the a-hole for kicking my boyfriend's friend out after what he did with my food? My female 28, boyfriend's male 30, childhood friend, male 30s, recently moved in with us after his place was ruined by fire. One thing I learned about him is that he loves being in the kitchen and cooking food. He's taken over the kitchen, not letting me cook my own meals. Since I'm allergic to certain ingredients, before eating his food I ask him if he put extra ingredients to make sure I don't eat food I'm allergic to. He'd lie and say no. So far, he's done it twice, resulting in my skin getting affected. I started cooking my own meals since he won't stop lying about putting certain ingredients in his food and causing me to find out the hard way. He clearly doesn't take it seriously and probably trying to prove my allergy doesn't exist. In the evening, I went to take a shower after I was done preparing my dinner and leaving it in the oven. My boyfriend's friend was in the kitchen the entire time, but was sitting at the table playing with his phone. After I got out of the shower, I went to check on my dinner, and almost immediately after looking at and smelling it, I noticed something was wrong. I asked if he's done anything to it. He shook his head, saying he didn't do much. After tasting it, he said he just added X ingredients since the meal lacked something. My dinner was ruined since I couldn't eat after he added ingredients I was allergic to. I snapped and yelled at him, telling him he had no business touching my food, and asked him what exactly his problem was because it looked like he was trying to prove a point of some sort. My boyfriend joined the argument. His friend's face turned red, claiming I was raising my voice for no reason. I told him to leave after arguing back and forth. My boyfriend gave him a ride to a mutual friend's place. That's how the other friends knew. And the next day, they lashed out at me, calling me toxic, mean, heartless, controlling, and that I overreacted, and should try to drive a wedge between childhood friends and kick him out while he's struggling. They berated me and demanded I apologize publicly, but I refused. To clarify two things, One, he said he thought the dinner was for all of us since he didn't cook. Suddenly no longer wanted to cook after I started making my own meals. And two, throughout the entire argument, he said he didn't know I was allergic to that ingredient that he put in my dinner. But I'm sure I've already mentioned all the things that I don't eat in my meals. Now for the top comments. Not a-hole. Of course he told the other friends a highly biased version of events. The reality is that he knowingly and intentionally put allergens in your food. This person could not be trusted, period. Food tampering is also a felony. He's lucky you're not pressing charges. Not a-hole. Maybe she should. Not a-hole. And then she can be an a-hole to everyone because how could you? And it was just an accident. And he didn't know you were allergic. And you're so sensitive. And are you even allergic? Oh, wait. And it was just a prank, bro. Honestly, depending on how severe her allergic reaction could be to that ingredient, she freaking should. Real life has real consequences. Even after saying depending on how severe, I'm like, screw it, dude. Not depending. Just do it. Not a-hole. He was purposefully poisoning you after you let him stay in your home. He knows you're allergic and sneaks it in your food anyway. In a lot of states, that is considered assault and could be prosecuted. Cut him off. Anyone standing up for him deserves to be cut off too. Yep, I agree 100%. A normal person doesn't contaminate someone else's food with ingredients they know the person is allergic to. He should definitely apologize. Not a-hole. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for insulting my sister-in-law after years of holding my tongue? My sister-in-law is low class. I really have no better way of putting it. She has a 10th grade education, thinks she's smarter than everyone else, and brags to make herself seem like more than she is. At her core, she's white trash, plain and simple. My brother's the only reason she's not living in a trailer right now. She will bluntly talk about her sex life, about things she's done, and stuff that nobody really wants to hear. She'll also openly insult me, and I'm told by my parents to just accept it and not make waves with my brother. For 8 years, I've tolerated her on the basis that she makes my brother happy. This weekend, we were all together and she began talking about how my brother is a blanket hog. My fiancé laughed and admitted that she was the blanket hog when we shared a bed, and I never woke her up to get them back. Sister-in-law responded that she would wake my brother out of a sound sleep to get the blankets back, and that once he was awake, he'd be looking for something else. She then stated that I knew better than to wake my fiancé up, because I obviously didn't have my A-game at the time. These feral comments are typical of the type of things she typically says. I replied, I can make do with a sheet and light blanket. I don't need to disturb her sleep when she gets up so early. She laughed. I'm just saying, don't wake us up if you don't have the game to back it up. My fiancé was a virgin when we got together. This is not well known, as it's really nobody's business but hers. At this point, I'd had a few drinks and I was feeling a bit prickish. I smiled and replied, I can confidently say I am the best that my fiancé has ever had in her life. Sister-in-law rolled her eyes, looked at my fiancé and asked, Really? I mean, I know you have to stroke his ego, but really? My fiancé laughed. Well, actually, he's right. He is definitely the best I've ever had, and that's not an exaggeration. Sister-in-law shook her head. In your whole life? Be honest, woman to woman, who's the best? My fiancé admitted, he's my first, best and only. Sister-in-law laughed. Wow, seriously? You gotta put some miles on those tires before deciding on the best. I interjected, well, when you buy a new model right off the floor as opposed to a used-up beater, you don't have to worry about who's been inside of it before you. Note, I do not think of women like this. I love and value my fiancé no matter what, and I drunkenly attempted to flip her own metaphor back on my sister-in-law. Sister-in-law became very quiet, and they left shortly after. My brother told me that my sister-in-law is very upset with me and says I called her a whore. I told him that I'd been holding my tongue for a decade for his benefit, and I was done putting up with her. I regret saying it, mainly because of the sexist implication and being drunk, but I stand by shutting down that line of conversation. Am I the a-hole? I regret saying it. No, you don't. If you did, you'd be apologizing to your brother and to your sister-in-law for that comment. Regardless if that is how you think of your sister-in-law and her comments, why the hell would you hang out with her? It's like you revel in the conflict and drama it brings. She sucks, but you're no angel. Think of some other way of resolving conflict than making sexist, disgusting comments like that. Everyone sucks here. Agree, everyone sucks here. Opie, if you have an issue with sister-in-law, say something to her face in a one-on-one discussion, rather than just think she is trash for years and then shame her in a group setting. The fact that you said, "Note, I don't think of all women like this," shows that you already know this was a bad thing to say. You really could have said nothing at all, or told her you don't like her implying things about her sex life because it's none of her business and rude. Definitely, everyone sucks here. Everyone sucks here. By all accounts, your sister-in-law is trash, but what you said is awful. Apologize to your fiancé, as frankly I feel she deserves it. The next story is titled, "Am I the a-hole for telling my sister her body hair is ruining her dates?" My sister 22 female and I 26 female both have PCOS. As a result, we have very thick, dark body hair and facial hair that can honestly rival some men's. I personally choose to shave regularly because I can't stand how it looks and feels. My sister used to shave, but about a year ago decided she wanted to stop. Of course, I support her 100% and think she's beautiful. What she does with her body is her business. However, there is an issue. My sister uses old pictures of herself back when she was shaving and dating apps. This has led to a lot of problems in her romantic life. She often complains she never gets a second date, and sometimes people even leave mid-date. I think this is kind of her fault because she's being disingenuous about her appearance, which is a horrible thing to do. I have always bit my tongue and just supported her about this topic until recently. The other day, she was venting again about another failed date. She asked me why this keeps happening to her. I told her she should consider updating her profile pictures. She got defensive and asked why she would need to do that. I told her that it would probably help so people know what she looks like, since she looks a lot different than when they were taken. She started getting extremely angry and said that a little body hair doesn't make that much of a difference, and the right person won't mind a little hair. Again, our body and facial hair is very thick and dark, and in my opinion, definitely makes a difference. When I don't shave, I get a full mustache and beard, and my sister's the same. The people she's going on dates with aren't expecting her to show up with a full mustache and beard because her pictures show her clean shaven. I told her that she's beautiful, but she's giving people false expectations, which is why she's having bad luck dating. She should just be honest from the start and the right one will come along. But she was infuriated and said I was being unsupportive and misogynistic. She has refused to talk to me since, and my family is now calling me an a-hole too because they think I was shaming her. My sister even posted on social media that body hair is beautiful. The stigma attached to it is misogynistic. It sucks when your own family won't support you. Did I go wrong somewhere here? I love my sister and don't think body and facial hair is a bad thing at all. But I don't think it's right to basically catfish people and then blame them for not being interested and treating them like they're horrible people when you misled them. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. She's lied to those who look at her profile. And if body hair is natural and she's okay with it, why won't she update her picture? She's okay with her hair, proud of it. So why? Because she knows she won't get as many first dates if she did update it, is what I think. But it would solve the issue of people leaving in the middle of the date because they were lied to. Right. Her statement of the right person wouldn't mind a bit of body hair contradicts the fact she has an old pre-hair profile picture. Because she's not attracting the right person. She's attracting the wrong ones and going on dates with the wrong ones. She has to decide whether she wants lots of first dates or if she wants to really put herself out there with a new picture and try to find someone who will actually connect with her. Not the a-hole Opie. You were honest but gentle about the whole thing. Exactly. If it doesn't matter, then a recent picture shouldn't matter either. Not the a-hole. I have PCOS. The honest answer is, if you choose to embrace the body hair issue, embrace it. But if she is claiming to embrace it, then not backing it up with being proud about it, then that's a huge issue. I also have PCOS and insulin resistance. I have a beard that would rival most men's, but I shave every day. I also have a pretty good happy trail as well. Not the a-hole. Wow, your sister loves being the victim, doesn't she? No offense. If I see a guy clean-shaved, then I meet him in person with a beard, I'd straight up call him what he is. catfisher. Body hair or not, if it's something she knows will make people swipe left, she should put it up there. Doesn't matter if she has extra weight, shorter hair, or a facial scar. Changing pictures, will make people swipe left, and meeting with them regardless is catfishing. And even if right guys show up, he would leave after being deceived. She loves complaining about them not staying when she's the one who catfished and wasted their time, then blamed you when she asked for your opinion and got defensive. The fact that she also made a post doesn't help either. She loves being the victim, and it's on her, not you. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for not going along with my girlfriend's lie in her family's Zoom call? I, 22 male, was invited to my girlfriend's 21 female extended family's Zoom call where everyone eats dinner together and then plays games. As we were eating, they were mostly talking amongst themselves, and then one of her aunts said to me, "I've heard a lot of good things about you. I'm told that you're an engineer." So is my husband. He asked me what field of engineering I was in, as he is an electrical engineer at a major firm. I was a little confused at this point because that's not true. I work in the maintenance department at the Children's Hospital, and I'm a building maintenance tech. I went to trade school for building maintenance right after high school, and what I told my girlfriend was that I always wanted to pursue my bachelor's, but only after I've had time to save toward it. I do not want to take out loans. I told him, actually, I'm a building maintenance tech at XYZ Hospital, but I'm considering my employer's tuition reimbursement program because I want to apply to mechanical engineering programs this year. It got really awkward, and her uncle was nice about it. Her uncle and her dad started asking me questions about what work was like in a hospital setting for non-clinical personnel at this time, and the conversation went in that direction. She chimed in when they asked her about school and her post-grad plans, but was pretty quiet. After the call, she called me on FaceTime and said that it was basically the same thing. And I said, if it's basically the same thing, then why did you lie about it? She explained that her aunts could be classist, and that it would have been better if I had just gone along with it, because I made her look stupid in front of her family, and that her aunts probably think less of both me and her now. I told her that I like what I do. It keeps a roof over my head, and I've been fortunate to keep my job this entire time, all without having a college degree yet. After she repeated that she felt stupid, I said I would talk to her later because I felt like the conversation was not going anywhere. But now I really feel like I did the wrong thing and made things complicated for her with her family. Am I the a-hole for not going along with her lying about my job to help her save face? Edit, I've been with her for 6 months. Not a-hole. You were honest and managed a perfectly pleasant conversation with her family. Her fudging the truth is on her. If she was going to do that, she could have broached the subject with you to see if that was something you'd agree to doing for her. I have to wonder, is the aunt really classist or is she? I agree with most of what you said, except she didn't fudge. She lied outright. And she lied because, well, she's embarrassed to be with Opie. I'm sorry, Opie, but that classist aunt's excuse is BS. Not in the fact that the aunts may or may not be classist snobs, but that if they are, it's strictly a them problem, not an Opie problem. There's no reason why she wouldn't share your occupation. You are a skilled technician, and since you don't share her apparently rarefied birth circumstances, you are rightly worried about life-crushing college debt, the #1 ruiner of future behind medical debt. It's plain and simple to see. She thinks you, 1, have to be defended, which she should have your back already. But more importantly, 2, you can't be defended, so it's better to lie about you. I, 22 male, was invited to my girlfriend's 21 female extended family's Zoom call where everyone eats dinner together and then plays games. And then one of her aunts said to me, "I've heard a lot of good things about you. I'm told that you're an engineer." And set you up after girlfriend lied about your status. Professional courtesy denied. Her aunts could be classist and that it would have been better if I had just gone along with it because I made her look stupid. Girlfriend looks stupid. She lied. Opie looks honest and hardworking and may become an engineer. This is all in girlfriend. Stop lying, girlfriend. Not day-hole. Lying is almost always the wrong way to go. And you sound like a catch. And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe